What's up guys, my name is AnimeSelect and welcome to a rather unconventional AnimeSelect retrospective review. So a lot has been going on in my life. I just graduated from college, I just got a new job, and I'm starting to make steps toward my life that will hopefully get it going very soon, which also includes YouTube. So as you can imagine, with all this weighing down on my mind, I need to unwind. And when I want to unwind, I watch old nostalgic things. So I've been binge watching the Animaniacs on Netflix. I've been rewatching old episodes of Batman the Animated Series. And I've also been watching old Iron Chef episodes. If memory serves me right, I've been watching Iron Chef for a long time, ever since I was 7 at least. I watched the dubbed version all the time on Food Network and always caught reruns of it when I could. Now for those of you who don't know its awesomeness, Iron Chef was a cooking competition show that aired on Fuji Television starting on October 10, 1993. The show has 4 main Iron Chefs, specializing in French, Chinese, Japanese, and Italian cooking, that will compete against the challenger. After picking the chef they want, a secret ingredient is revealed to them to use, and they have 1 hour to make the best and most creative dishes they can. The series ended on September 24th, 1999 with a whopping 309 episodes and had many specials every now and again. Today I just want to focus on a few things that still impress me to this day. The stadium, Chairman Too Fab for You, Kaga, and my favorite Iron Chef. So let's get started. One thing that I really liked about the stadium was the size of it. While the open area seating was very vast, the actual kitchen space was pretty tiny. So it kind of gave you that feel of, we only have an hour to do this and we're also working within a small space. So it adds to the challenge a bit. One thing that I also really loved was that the camera crew would have to work in between. Now if you watch Iron Chef America, it's pretty much similar to that. But one thing that always impressed me was the entryway for the Iron Chefs. So when Chairman Kaga made his fabulous entrance, he would call out the Iron Chefs after he met the challenger, and the lights would go down and a choir would start singing, like a fucking choir, like in Death Note, and the Iron Chefs would rise from their podiums where they already have their pictures displayed behind them, and they would rise, and then the commentator would give you information on them, and it looked almost like you had summoned something that was probably going to kick your ass. So now that you summoned it, you have to fight. And I think that that's what they were trying to convey. You summoned this person to try and challenge them. Well, here they are. They're not fucking around because they come out stone-faced. And then they stare you down. And you pick the chef that you want to battle. One thing I always thought was interesting, too, was the fact that they only had 3 at the center of Kitchen Stadium. And they had another one off to the side. That one would be Iron Chef Italian. The 3 ones that they had, like the portraits for and everything, were French, Chinese, and Japanese. But yeah, now that I'm done talking about that, let's move on to Chairman Kaga. Y'all don't know fabulousness, y'all don't know beauty, y'all don't know style until you have seen Chairman Too Fab for You or for anybody else, Kaga. Okay, this man always had the most outlandish clothes. He had the best style. He could bite a goddamn raw bell pepper and just smile and shit. No one can do that. You can't do it. I mean, you probably don't want to, but you know what? He did. You know why? Because he's Chairman Kaga, okay? Chairman Kaga could do that shit. Chairman Kaga, as the story of Iron Chef says, he's a very wealthy man, and he always loved food, but he himself, he could never cook. So he immersed his fortune into building Kitchen Stadium and invited chefs all over the world to come and cook in this kitchen. And to try and challenge them, he sought out the best people in these different styles of cooking, being French, Chinese, Japanese, and Italian. And he summoned them to be his Iron Chefs, to present the other chefs with like a challenge. And the guy who did the dubbing for Chairman Kaga, oh, I love him. Like, every now and again, it was weird. Sometimes they dub over his voice, sometimes they wouldn't, but mostly for the opening narration they would, because this was when people reading subtitles, at least for serialized Japanese shows, wasn't really, commonplace. It still kind of isn't now, but we've gotten more used to foreign things coming out better than we did back in like 1993. So, it's a lot easier for us to try and read subtitles because we're used to them now. But with a lot of foreign things not making it stateside that often, it was still kind of iffy. But every now and again they would leave it alone and just have the subtitles. But the guy who did the dub is still really great. I do love the dub of Iron Chef. The voices are just really great. I think they did a great job considering, it was 1993 and they could just have talked monotone like a House of the Dead game for the whole time. So I appreciate the effort. I really do love it. But yeah, so back to Chairman Kaga. And one time for like a special where I believe it was a rematch between Bobby Flay and Masaharu Morimoto, he came in. It was like the Iron Chef 21st Century Battle in 2001. So he came in on a horse. He rode in on a white horse with a whole cavalcade before him. Like, he came in on a horse, people. A horse. So while I'm talking about favorite people, let me wrap it up with my favorite Iron Chef. Now, I hate to be exclusive. I mean, I love all the Iron Chefs. My other favorite, my second favorite, I guess, is Iron Chef Hiroyuki Sakai. My absolute favorite was Iron Chef Japanese Matsuharu Morimoto. And he is still being an Iron Chef on Iron Chef America. He's still there. And the things that I liked about him were what a lot of other Japanese cooks who challenged him did not like. His innovation and his fusion of different cuisines with traditional Japanese cuisine. That's what got him on the hit list of this one guy. I want to highlight like this one series of battles that I call the Salty Saga. Okay, this guy who was he's the purveyor of like traditional Japanese cuisine, and he is furious at Morimoto. He says, how dare he call himself a Japanese chef? This shit ain't Japanese cooking. Like, what does he know? And he's gonna challenge him and beat him. And if he loses, it's like he can't call himself a Japanese chef anymore because what he does in the Japanese. Because Morimoto, he started out, well, he gained fame at this restaurant Nobu in New York. And Nobu has since spread out. I was in California, and even though I didn't get to try it, one day I want to go to Nobu and have food that was thought up by Morimoto, just to try it. That is like a childhood dream of mine, which hopefully I can do one day. It's very expensive. From what I have seen from the show and from doing research, a lot of Japanese chefs at the time were not too open to that, which I found weird because in the 90s, fusion was a really big thing. Like, it's kind of carried over from the 90s to now, like the early 2000s, like that whole decade, it carried over, and the fusion is kind of like a thing we see a lot of now, but back then it was like something really new. Like, you know, you're combining different cuisine, like what the hell, like how, you can't do that, can you? But people did, and it turned out to be, well, great. It's pervade. And this one guy, Ota, I believe is his name, he came in trying to teach Morimoto a lesson. Morimoto schooled his ass. He won. So it was like after that, he got embarrassed. So he sent a cook from his faction. That's another thing. Dude rolled up. He rolled up the first time this whole fucking faction, and then they sent in the second hitman, as they called him in the show, and he rolled up again. And then the third time, they still rolled up. But anyway, so after he lost, this guy, you know, Ota pretty much said, if you don't beat Morimoto, you can't come back. Like, no, you can't come back. So this guy had a lot riding on him. And what they did was, the secret ingredient for them to work with was natto. Go look up what natto is. It's not good. So, you know, I didn't know just how much Morimoto really made lemonade out of lemons. He devised this whole thing, a menu called Around the World with Natto. And he started with the dessert in New York. And you know what he did? He mixed natto with Coca-Cola. Fucking Coca-Cola! One of the most American things that we have to our name that everybody knows. And he mixed it with a traditional, Japanese only snack. That pissed Ota off so much. But I loved it because Morimoto would often have like a can of Coca-Cola that he would sip, you know, during the whole thing, and he just thought about it and he poured it in, and it was great. And it just pissed him off so much, and you could see the salt rolling off of that man in waves. And you know, I think he was also pissed too because on the back of Morimoto's original Iron Chef garb, he had a Japanese and an American flag like tied together in a bundle to kind of represent both of, you know, him being Japanese but also embracing America, which is something that I really love too. It's kind of like a home away from home situation. So the natto battle, I'm gonna spoil it, but he won. Morimoto won. Salt rolling off of this man, right? Rolling off of Ota. You could probably salt every goddamn dish in Kitchen Stadium from that man. So he tried a third time with somebody who was actually, I believe, a guy who specialized in salt. But man, oh man, I won't spoil that one for you. I want you to try and find it. If I can find it again, I'll link it below. But yeah, Morimoto proved himself on more than even these 3 occasions to a lot of naysayers. So my camera died. Today is a good day. At least I look cute. So the one thing about Kitchen Stadium and Iron Chef in general was that you had to be innovative. You had to be creative. That's the whole point of the show. You can't be stuck in your old traditional ways. That's just not gonna happen. They want you to get out of your comfort zone. I mean, you go there, you pick from a small selection of chefs that they have, and then they unveil a secret ingredient for you to work with. And it could be you're a French chef. You decide to go up against a Chinese chef, and they give you udon noodles. What the fuck are you gonna do with udon noodles? And you have to make the best out of the situation. That's the whole point. It's kind of like a jam session with artists, be it musicians or, you know, traditional artists. You have a prompt, you have a beat, go at it. You have an hour. Let's see what you can make. And I feel like that's what a lot of the traditionalists lost at, because there is a category for creativity. And a lot of times those points went to Morimoto because of his creativity. He thought outside the box a lot. And his fusion of, you know, different techniques and different flavors from around the world to add to, you know, Japanese cuisine, I think won. Because, I mean, traditional Japanese cuisine is assumedly something that a lot of these judges have had before because they're Japanese. They're, you know, they get different Japanese celebrities to come be guest stars. And if you're going to be a traditionalist and serve traditional Japanese food, then it's granted that these people have already had it before. So wouldn't it be smart to make something that maybe they've never had before? I'm just saying. I mean, it worked for Morimoto. You know, it's just really amazing to me how they never really got that concept of innovation, because they were just so dead set on proving a lot of these people wrong, you know, and what the traditional ways of cooking are. In a decade that spawned another decade of embracing fusion, because it was also around this time that the 90s to the 2000s, the internet was starting to become very popular. In a decade that was just beginning to experience different cultures, seeing someone who could bring that to the people in the form of cuisine by just putting little bits and pieces of it together with something that they already knew and were familiar with, blow the fucking mind. I just rambled on for I don't know how long about Iron Chef. Gotta let this sink in. I really nerded out, oh my god. Well, anyway, I just wanted to say in closing that thank you, Food Network, thank you, Fuji Television, for providing me with probably one of the better nostalgic experiences of my childhood. And to all the chefs who were a part of Iron Chef Japan, thank you all again. I'm so glad when I look you guys up, you're still cooking and you're still doing things and you're still very passionate about cuisine and just the culinary arts, and it's just really, really wonderful to see. More anime reviews coming soon. I have one that I've been waiting to get to, which is another reason why I had to kind of go to my happy place in Kitchen Stadium. So please, if you have any comments, questions, recommendations, or concerns, you can email me. Link is on the channel page up at the bar. And if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm trying to get on there more. And as always, please like and subscribe and comment if you will. So my name is AnimeSelect, and I will be seeing you all next time. Bye.